whatever the knowledge I got, whatever the PhD I got, it should be useful for the society. Now, what is the use of getting mechanical engineer certificate if you're going and working in bank sector as a cashier? You should become asset to the nation. So when you give quality education, when you give quality environment to our students, they will become asset. Otherwise, they will become liability. Even though within classroom, we should provide the picture of whole world. That is the meaning of education. Then only your wisdom will open. Hello my dear students, I am your Ajay sir, faculty, Department of Commerce and Management, Vidyashram First Aid College, Mysuru, a temple of excellence. My dear students, in today's session I am going to handle the subject Management of Service for second sem BBA, and the topic is Hospital and Education Service. My dear students, in the previous session we were discussing about what is hospital industry and what are the marketing mix of hospital industry and what are the nature of hospital or health system in India, and what are the steps we can take to improve the health system in India and hospital system in India, hospital pharmacy. So many points we discussed. And coming to the current session, so we have to discuss on education system. So what is education system? See, education system not only schools, colleges, see, it includes everything which is, it may be government funding, it may be laws related to education system. What is the important law in India? RTE. What do you mean by RTE? Right to education. So it is today right to education is also one of the fundamental right for the children to have a good education, for a affordable education. See, in India, so many students, so those who achieved a lot, those who contributed to countries are all coming from poor background. So if the ratio between richer class and poor class, we have so many achievers of the country, the contribution given by the so many big humans or big personalities are coming from the poor background. Once the poor people get the actual or the enough education or higher education, then only they can come up from the poor background and they can achieve and they can contribute to the country. So all these things, it may be education laws, it may be policies and also regulation, public funding. See, in India, we are having just 3% of GDP. If 100 rupees coming to the government is spending only 3 rupees on education. See, education is very, very important. This is what today's children are tomorrow's citizens of the country, isn't it? So if we spend only 3%, 3 rupees after 100 rupees on education, so how can we expect the growth? How can we expect the students to achieve? So we have so many problems, we have so many advantages also, disadvantages also. Let's discuss in the future slides, in the next slides. Next one, public funding resource. So resource allocations, we have very, very limited resource. In order to, in the education system, we are having very, very limited resource. Not only public funding, it may be education, it may be experienced personalities, it may be colleges, or it may be the entire education system. We have very limited resource allocation to the education system. Next one, and procedure for determining funding level. So what are the, we are not following scientific procedure for allocation of funding for the education. So that's why because of these so many drawbacks in our country, so we could not achieve enough education success in our country. So what is the meaning of education system? Let's see. An education system comprises everything that goes into educating public school students at a federal, state or community level. So it may be rural area, or it may be urban area, or it may be community level. So what are all? It may be private sector, public sector. So education system includes everything from elementary level to higher education. So whatever the aspects affects the education, all comes under education system. It may be politics, or it may be funding, or it may be rules, regulations, laws related to education, and also private sector, public sector. So children's parents, all including everything that builds an environment that is called as education system. So we have discussed now. So what are the laws? We have RTE and also policies. So right to education is one of the important policies. Next one, regulations. Every year the syllabus will be changing, and what approach we are having. So on what basis we are changing the syllabus. Universities are changing the syllabus. So many times they have put unscientific syllabus to students. Sometimes they will be having wonderful syllabus. So in what way? So according to the brain development of the students, according to the age of the students, we have to fix the syllabus. So many times we are end up with unscientific syllabus pattern also. Sometimes we are having very good syllabus also. So like that, on what way? So what research we are doing on education? So compared to other countries, the research system under education is very less in our country. So how many students are going for research? How many students are going for higher education? It's very less compared to other developed and developing countries. That's why so we are still backward in the development of education system in India. Next one, state and district administrative officers, schools facilities and transportation facilities. So education includes transportation facility for the education, schools, and also state level we have central syllabus, state syllabus, and also community level, and also other research patterns are available for education. So all these comprises will become education system. Next one, human resource. So what human resource we are having? Are they having experienced? Are they provided good salary? So these are all things comes under. So how we are attract new young people for the education system. So many youths are not today. So many youths are not attracted towards education, coming to education system, becoming a teachers, becoming lecturers. So they will feel not enough proud to coming for the or take up for the education profession. Next one, staffing. Not only teachers, other related staff for the administration, for other purpose. We need all the staff for education. Next one, contracts. So we have to build the schools, we have to provide the transportation facilities, we have to provide the food, midday meals also comes under education system. So we need contracts for that. Next one, compensation. All the other compensation available for it may be students compensation. We have to provide the scholarship for the students. We have to provide the financial facilities. Bank has to provide the loan for the students to go for higher education. So all and employees benefits. So government has to provide the employee benefits. It may be DA, it may be TA, or any other benefits provided by the employer. It may be private sector or public sector to the employees of the institution. Next one, books. So what are the books and also library facility? So how many schools and colleges are providing enough library facility with equipped materials? So in our country, next one, computer. See, in so many countries today, because of corona, we are coming up with online classes in so many public and private schools in India. So more than 70% of schools are not having computers. If they are having computer also, they don't have internet connection. So in this lack of infrastructure, how can we go to the online? How can you provide the online classes to students? So those who are having resource, it may be mobile phone or it may be laptop, tab with internet connection. Even though you are having laptop, even though you are having internet connection, if you did not get the network, so what do you do? So how you get to the education? How can you get the lessons? Isn't it? So we need everything should be developed. So having laptop is not enough. Having mobile phone is not enough. So we need other sectors like mobile telephone or communication sector has to develop to provide the internet facility for rural areas. So many people or so many students from rural area, even though they are having laptops and internet connection, they could not listen to the lecture or they could not attend the class because of network problem. So out of 100, see, this is the system of our country. This is the education system of our country. Out of 100 schools in public sector, in private sector also, only 30 to 40% are having computer facility. Only 30 to 40% are having computer facility. Out of that, so in this 30 to 40%, only 15 to 20% are having internet facility. 20 to 25% more than, let's take 25% having internet facility. So what about other 75% of students? What about other 75% of colleges, students? So those who are living in rural area, semi-urban area, even in urban area also we are not getting the communication or network, proper network to get the classes, to attend the classes. So in this 25% also, how many students are getting proper connection to listen to the lecturing? Because of technological advancement in the education sector. So earlier education means just a school, classroom, board, chalk based teacher, that's it. But today education means it is a communication network. We need internet, we need mobile phone, we need computers, we need library. Everything should be included. We need lab facility. We need politics is more in the education, isn't it? So everything comes and comprises will become the education system. And teaching resources. What are the teaching resources? How many colleges and schools are having lab facility? In lab, how many of them having computer, other equipments related to lab, chemistry, biology, and other labs facility? So many students, so many schools, so many colleges are not having chemistry lab, physics lab. They are going to tying up with other institution to provide the lab teaching and lab information to the students, isn't it? That's why. So because of lack of resource, it may be private sector or it may be public sector, our country is facing the problem, and our children are not getting effective and education, or effective or skillful education in our country. Next one, learning materials also is very important, and course. What type of course are offering by the education institutions or maybe universities? Next one, countless other contributing elements. So all the elements which affects directly or indirectly to the education systems comes under education system. Now we understood the concept of education system. Now let's discuss about what are the problems in India and what type of problems our education system, our children's, our schools, our colleges, and our system is facing, and also government also. So without resource, how can government build the schools, institution? How can they provide the enough salary for the employees, isn't it? So if they did not provide enough salary to the employees, so who will attract it? So new generation has to, always the old river or old water will be flowing, and new water has to come to fill that place, isn't it? So old people or retired one will be going out of the profession. So profession has to fill with the new youngsters, with new young blood, isn't it? So if the new youngsters did not come to the profession, the profession will become empty. The profession will become very difficult to manage or provide the effective and very efficient education to the new generation. Next one, according to the Kartikeya Sharma, India has GER. What do you mean GER? GER means gross enrollment rate. So gross enrollment rate means after finishing school education, how many of you are coming to college education? So in India, if 100% or 100 students finish school education, only 19 of them, only 15 to 19 of them coming to higher education. What about remaining 21 students? What about remaining 70 or 81% of students? Just we are having 20%. So 15 to 20% of students are coming to higher education. What about other 80% of students who are living in rural area, semi-urban area, urban area, or it may be slums, or it may be any other backward area, forest area, hilly area? So many students are coming, and also they are struggling to finish their schooling only, and they are going for work. It may be for wage work. They are going not even for salary. So what about their future? If they did not get enough education, higher education, so how can we provide skillful employees for the companies? How can we provide skillful employees for the organization? And whatever the education system we are having today, is it enough, or they are providing enough skillful or job oriented education today? No. So even though you are doing education, you are not getting proper job. Why? Because you are not getting skillful education. Only we are providing theoretical knowledge, not skillful. If you don't have skill, what do you do? What do you do if you go to the employment? So getting job is easy, attending interview is easy, you may get the job. But if you to perform the job, you need skills. So if you don't have skill, what do you do after taking up job, isn't it? So that's why we have to provide the actual relevant education. We are providing the education, but is it relevant to the current situation? Is it relevant to the current work? Are you providing enough workforce for the industries? If you go to ask industries, what they will tell? See, we are not getting enough skillful employees. Our education system only providing theoretical knowledge, not the practical knowledge. If you go and ask for the universities, what they will tell? See, our job is to giving the concept, not the work related or experience. So out of the knowledge or concept what they got from the universities, they have to utilize for the doing the job to achieve the skill. So this is the divide between universities and education providers and job providers. There is a big divide. There is a big divide between education providers and job providers. Job providers always blame the universities or education providers, and education providers always blame the industries who gives the job. So where is the mistake? We have to identify the mistakes. So let's discuss all the points, then later we may end up or we may get the answer for this question. So only 19% of students, 15 to 19% of students are enrolling for the higher education. So and we don't know the fate of other remaining 80 to 85% of students. Now to enroll higher education after graduating from higher school, this means only out of 190 students will getting higher education. Next one, India's GDR is 6% below the current world average, around 6% below the current world. If you go to the higher education in America, in developed countries, in UK, USA, so more than 50% of students are going for higher education. They are opting for higher education. But in India, only 6% of students are going for higher education. So if only 6% of students goes to higher education, only 6% of students are getting enough training, enough knowledge to perform the skillful job. So if you go to engineers, because that's why we don't have, so India is not producing enough engineers to build the country. India is not producing enough doctors to provide the health facilities for the poor people. Even though the doctors who got the degrees are concentrating in urban area, they are not ready to go to rural area. Apart from few doctors, some few doctors are ready to work in rural area, okay. But what about others? They are not ready to go to urban area. The production itself is limited. The producing doctors, even though we are having so many or so much reputed institution, we are not coming, so we are not producing, so we are not coming up with enough doctors to see. India exporting doctors to other country. It may be if you go to UK, if you go to USA, Indian doctors are very famous in other countries, but in our country only we are not having enough doctors who can provide the affordable education, affordable training, affordable health facility. So in our country only poor people are not getting enough health facility. So it is for Americans, Indian health system is a very cheaper, but for Indians it is very costly. It is very costly for Indians only because of poor people. So even though compared to other countries, our health system and education system is very cheaper, but for Indians it is costlier. It is not affordable to get the enough and higher education or maybe enough facilities. So that's why the government aims to increase it by up to 30%. So even though they aim, so we know what is the fate of government aims and government policies. But even though government is struggling to reach it up to 30%, but we could not achieve. By the end of 2020, government was aiming or government was thinking to take that percentage from 6 to 30%, but we could not achieve that. Even still today, 10 to 15% or 20% of students are going for higher education after Corona. So if you go to the higher education, all colleges, we don't have enough enrollment. We don't have enough enrollment because of so many reasons they are giving. It may be government or private also, both sectors fate is same. Now what are the reasons for lack of education, proper education system in India? So lack of experienced hands. Lack of experienced hands. So we need enough research. We don't have people who has done PhD. How many PhDs are there in higher education? How many research we are conducting in higher education system? How many students are going for research? How many students are coming up with presentation of papers? So it's very little. 10 to 25% of students are coming up with going for doctorate and research paper. Remaining 75% going for other jobs. So taking education, say before few days I was reading an article in the newspaper. The girl who did MSc, she is taking up job as scavenger. So it is very big, even though it is a government job. So after having a MSc, she could not get better job. she end up taking a job in scavenger in Tamil Nadu. Do you know that? So why? Because of, so he was in UP for peon post, so many PhDs applied for peon post, attender post. So PhD are going for peon post or attender post. What is the fate of PhD? What is the fate of education system in India? So that's why we have to look after those things. So in India, we are not getting proper education or proper job for the proper qualification, isn't it? So the person who got the highest qualification ending up with or going to the lowest quality or grade of job. So what is the use of getting the highest education, getting the PhD in his field? For example, whatever the knowledge I got, whatever the PhD I got, it should be useful for the society. If I end up with scavenger post or attender post, what is the use of it? So can I use my PhD knowledge in attender post? Can I use my MSc knowledge in scavenger post? No. If I get enough opportunity only, I can provide whatever I got the education, whatever the knowledge I got, I can render by using that knowledge, by synthesizing that knowledge, I can provide the service to the society. If I did not get proper opportunity, so whatever the knowledge I got, it will be not useful for the society. So that's why experienced hands are not there in India. So even though they are not getting enough materials, enough resource to coming up with new ideas, coming up with different type of techniques to teach or to implement in Indian education system. So universities is published for every year. For 2014-15, no Indian universities made it to this list. Most of universities that offer higher education focus on textbook and they completely lack in giving students hands-on experience. So only what we are teaching only on whatever in textbook. So we are not providing the actual education. See, for example, I am telling you a story. So if you are going in a jungle, or forest, immediately a lion or tiger standing in front of you, what you will do? So you have a gun, okay? You have a gun. What you have to do? You have to take the gun and shoot the lion or tiger, or it may be any animal which is harmful to you, isn't it? So if you have certificate, what you can do? So can you show the certificate to the lion or tiger? Yes, see, I have gun certificate. I have gun certificate. It will not listen. It will attack you, isn't it? It attacks you. What you have to do? You have to take the gun and shoot it. Like that, our certificates happening. So it is a jungle means our real world, actual world, or your workplace. And the gun is your education. Isn't it? The gun is your skill, your knowledge. So you have to use your knowledge, you have your skill in order to solve the problem. Even just having certificate is not enough. So whatever the problem is facing to you, what you are facing to the problem, if you show the certificate, see, I have rank, I have first rank, I have distinction, the problem will not solve. The problem will not listen to your certificate. So only it needs skillful. So implementation of your skill, implementation of your knowledge and wisdom to solve the problem. Then only your education will be successful. The purpose of having education will be achieved. Isn't it? That's why we need this type of education. Just reading textbook, so just giving knowledge within four walls is not the education. Education includes within classroom and outside classroom. We have to discuss everything. So do we having that system in Indian education to discuss within classroom the points or the factors within classroom, and what are the factors affects outside the classroom? Are we discussing? No. Next one, if students given thousands of books to read but not given enough time to apply what has learned. So what is the difference between knowledge and wisdom? Isn't it just taking all the information, just knowledge? So knowledge will improve. What is wisdom? What you think is wisdom? So we have to think. So by thinking also we can get the information. By thinking also we can improve our knowledge. Thinking also we can build our personality. So thinking is, there is lack of thinking. Only there is reading we are having today. In our education system, we just having reading and taking the knowledge. But what about thinking? And we have to synthesize all the knowledge and we have to come up with the new ideas. Is it happening? No. Now let's go to the next one. Lack of relevant industry. So we don't have, most of the students today often end up with service industry after completion of their education. So many industries, for example, engineers, they did engineers and they become engineer, but they go for banking sector job as a, even though they are having eligibility. Now, what is the use of getting mechanical engineer certificate if you going and working in bank sector as a cashier? Isn't it? So he did, master degree in MSc, is doing some computer job, some BPO or KPO job, business process outsourcing and knowledge process outsourcing job. Yes, he may get good salary, but what is the use of education what he got? It will end up just he got the certificate, he got the eligibility and joined the job. So is there any use after becoming an engineer? He has to build the house, then only it will be useful for he has to use his knowledge to build the house. As a civil engineer, as a mechanical engineer, he has to go to coming up with new machines, then only it will be useful for the society. As an electronical engineer, he has to come up with he has to improve the computer, he has to work in computer sector. So taking education in different field, working in different field, what is the use of it? What is the use of education? What he got? So how can he implement? How can he come up with new ideas if he did not get, or if he did not work with what he got from in the field, what he got the knowledge? Next one, with the rise of IT industries and BPO, even though, see, because of service industry, why BPO and KPO are coming in to India? Because of they are getting cheap labor. They are getting cheap labor. So compared to the salary what they have to give in their own country, in USA and UK, so providing the salary are paying the less, even though they pay lesser salary in India, it is compared to their salary, it is lesser to in India. For us, it is 60,000, 70,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees. But for them, in their currency, it is very, very cheaper. So because of cheaper labor available in India, they are coming with BPO and KPO for the Indian sector. So after getting good education, after doing PhD, if you go and working in the BPO and KPO, what is the use of your PhD? What is the use of your education? Isn't it? So what government has to do? They have to provide funding for the research in other sectors. So we have to we have to do the research. So what is our education system? How many engineers we need? How many doctors we need? How many colleges are available to build or to produce that much of engineers, doctors, and also other sectors, scientists and mathematicians and teachers. So how many, what is the demand and what is the supply? So we have to identify, government has to do research on demand and supply. Demand of doctors, supply of doctors. Is it enough? Are we having enough colleges to meet the demand? No, isn't it? That's why government has to come up with a plan to produce enough doctors, engineers, teachers, all related, industrial laborers. So everything should be equal to the demand. Then only if the supply is equal to demand, then whatever the education we got, it will become useful. Next one, short supply of educators. That's what. See, in the ideal students teacher ratio is 10:1. For every 10 students, there should be one lecturer or one teacher. Do we have in this ratio? No. For 100, some college for 150 students is one teacher is handling 150 students. Is it possible? No. Why? Because the one teacher cannot handle all the students. What he will do? He will only teach for the front benchers. That's it. What about back benchers? All students will not learn in a same manner. All students cannot understand in the same manner. So different students, their level of students understanding capacity and level will be different. So in order to give enough time to all students, so teacher is not having enough time, enough resource, enough salary also. Next one, for allowing this system, the education in India, however, now the number is very, very less. The ratio is very, very less. So in order to avoid this, the government has to provide, they has to come up with new jobs in the education sector, and also they should offer more salary. If you compare to all other countries, developed countries in India, so the country which respects the teacher, the country which provides highest pay or highest salary for the teachers, all countries are developed countries. Are understanding? So because of why their system is very, very strong, because the teachers are very, and also the exams what they conduct, it is very, very difficult to become teacher in the developed countries. And also after becoming teacher, the government is providing, wonderful salaries, wonderful opportunities, and also they are creating wonderful jobs for in the teaching. So the new youths will attracted to teaching, the new, very, very skillful and young youths are attracted towards teaching. They are coming, taking the jobs in teaching, and also they can transfer their knowledge to the students. The students who got wonderful knowledge from the wonderful teacher, they will become the wonderful citizens of the country, isn't it? So that's why the higher education classes has students teacher ratio is very, very less. In India, for every 100 students, we have only one teacher. Geographical area in some states, if you go to North India, it is 150 to 200 students in one class. How we can provide the education, quality education to those students? Next one, low quality institutions. They are not having enough infrastructure. In India, the number of colleges in relatively small towns overwhelming. This casts doubts about the motives of the people who put up this institution. So we are not having proper infrastructure. We should have field, we should have library, we should have computer lab. So the campus should be big. Do we having a big campus? Do we having proper facility, proper building, proper lab, proper computers? No. So even though we are having so many colleges, just there every day, day by day, they are increasing like mushrooms. But are they providing quality? Are they providing quality infrastructure? Are they providing quality teachers? Are they providing enough salary for the teachers? No. So because of they did not provide good salary, good teachers will not come, isn't it? So ultimately, who will be the loser? The students will be the loser. They cannot get good teaching. They cannot get the good knowledge. They will end up becoming liability for the society. So always students remember this point. So we should become asset to the nation, not the liability. We should become asset to the nation. So when you give quality education, when you give quality environment to our students, they will become asset. Otherwise, they will become liability. So what is the biggest disaster for our country? See, our country, more than 60 to 70% of our students or our generation is youths. Our population, more than 60 to 70% of our population is youths. The youths, if they did not get proper education, the youths did not get the proper or quality ecosystem to growth, so they will become liability. This is the disaster for the country. Abdul Kalam says, so what is the disaster for the country? If this 60 to 70% of the youths, what we call them, that is the backbone of the country for economy or for the education system, if they did not get the enough education, if they did not get the proper job, they will become liability. Ultimately, they will become liability for the country. They may end up becoming terrorists. They may they may become antisocial. If they did not get enough proper education, proper jobs, so it will become biggest disaster for the country. That's why we need proper education. Education is an awareness. Education means awareness. Education means knowledge. Education means thinking capacity. Education means skill. Not only within four walls of the classroom, it may be outside of the classroom, the whole world. So even though within classroom, we should provide the picture of whole world. That is the meaning of education. Then only your wisdom will open, isn't it? So thinking capacity is very, very important. Skill, if you don't have skill, very, very difficult. So already explained, if you having a certificate, if you don't know how to use the gun, what is the use of it? You have to face the so many cruel animals in the jungle. So we need skill to face them. Next one, rate race. What do you mean rate race? Students are taught read and grasp thousands of books without actually understanding them. The goal of the students to top specific examination. So what is the goal of students? See, just mere numbers will not decide your future. Keep this in your mind. Mere numbers will not decide your future. So you need skill, you need actual environment, you need, to qualify government examples, to qualify government exams, you should be having a competitive skill. You should be having a competitive skill. You have to fight with thousands and lakhs of students to get jobs, isn't it? In order to become, so we are making our students to become slaves in the other sectors or someone under someone's hands. So are we providing education to become entrepreneur? How many of you? So you are becoming just a manager. Don't become the manager, you become the leader. Or our system, is our system He's providing the education to make our students leaders or make our students slavery or slaves. So the education which provides the way to become a leader, way to become a manager, way to become a entrepreneur, that is the education, that is the quality education. So if our education system makes us slaves, makes us if you don't have any ideas, you will end up just doing work for others. So don't go for work, you give work to others. So how to give work and how to generate work, how to becoming an entrepreneur, how to become owner, how to become leader, this is what we need from our education, not to become a slave in some other's hand. So just scoring good marks, taking up job, don't go to the job, don't just think taking a job is ultimate goal in your life. So you have to come up with that compound. So go out of that compound. So think big, go throughout the world, come up with new ideas. So come up with new business to the country. At least can you give jobs to 4 to 5 people? Enough. You will become an entrepreneur, you will become an industrialist. So instead of taking job, or if instead of going for job in the other sector under someone's hands, giving job is very, very important, isn't it? So race rate means just you are going for race to get rate, that means marks. So just going for race to get good marks is not enough. So how much education, how much concept you can utilize for growth of your own self, growth of your environment, growth of the society, how much you can use to the growth of society, that is very, very important. Just reading the books and writing in exam and forgetting everything after the exam is not useful. So we have to get all the knowledge, think and come up with new ideas to helpful for the society and poor people. Next one, low focus on building personality. So we are not concentrating on building personality. Just for example, I will give you one student scored 100 out of 100 in all sector. What he became? He became a terrorist. He became a scientist actually, but end up with becoming helping for a terrorist in building a rocket, in building a missile. He was a wonderful student in science. He could become a wonderful scientist. He did become a wonderful scientist, but he was helping for the terrorist to how to build a missile for destruction purpose, not for construction purpose. So if you have education without moral value system, you will become this type of scientist, not like Abdul Kalam, who sacrificed his entire life for the development of the country, because he is also scientist, he is also teacher. His way of thinking is different because of moral education, moral knowledge, values. So education without values is just like a garbage. Education without values, education without morals is just like a waste. It is just biggest waste in our country. So if you have education, if you have a skill, it is not useful for the society, it is not useful for your own family, your own growth, your own personality. What is the use of getting education, isn't it? So what we are providing? We are providing just education which is useful to get the marks and also get the job, that's it, not more than that. So if you, even the Mark Zuckerberg and also so many entrepreneurs, if you've seen them, they are not finished the full education. They are not, they are so many of them college dropouts. They did not get the formal education. It may be Einstein, or it may be so many scientists. Okay, Newton, it may be. So many of them, they did not get the formal education. So don't think taking formal education only will become helpful for the future for you. Not only formal education, even informal education also helpful for the people to growth and also to enhance their personality. So we should provide the education to enhance or to build the personality, not only building or increasing the marks. So how many of you having moral values? How many of you taking the actual, so becoming the good citizen is very, very important than becoming or scoring highest marks, isn't it? So yes, scoring highest marks is also very, very important, but at the same time we should have moral values, we should have ethical values, then only. That's why we say Vidyage Vinayave Bhushana. What do you mean Vidyage Vinayave Bhushana? So if you have Vidya, if you don't have Vinaya, what is the use of it? We need both Vidya and Vinaya. Then only it will be useful for the building the society. Next one, discourages deviation. What do you mean? That the government should make sure that the system of higher education in the Indian provide a way to encourage the critical thinking. What is critical thinking? So we should get all the information and we have to come up with new ideas. We have to think. So knowledge gives, what do you mean by knowledge and wisdom? What is the difference between knowledge and wisdom? Knowledge, just taking the knowledge, taking the information and storing in the mind, isn't it? What do you mean wisdom? Wisdom means it is above than the knowledge. So wisdom is one step more than the knowledge. That means thinking, taking all the information. Knowledge means just information. It may be touch or it may be seeing, watching, hearing, whatever the information you got from this now outside of your body, outside of your soul, that is called as knowledge. What is my wisdom? Inside of your mind, inside of your soul. So what you think. So Einstein. So we read Einstein. We got to know E is equal to mc square. So we understood E equals to mc square. Who told this? Einstein told this. To Einstein, who told to Einstein? So we read Einstein books and we got to know E is equal to mc square. Einstein told us. To Einstein, who told? So his thinking capacity told him, isn't it? His thinking capacity, his critical thinking. This is what critical thinking we need. So this is what, and at the same time, this is the lack in our students. Critical thinking is very, very lower level. So that's why in order to build the critical thinking, so we need education system. So just reading is not enough. We have to come up with the new ideas. Next one, uninspired educators. So in today's education system, so many teachers, college lecturers, they're not inspired. So as a teacher should be an inspiration for the students, not only a teacher. So if as a teacher, I should become an inspiration for you people. Just teaching and going is not enough. I should be, as a teacher, within the classroom also I'm a teacher, and outside the classroom also I'm a teacher. So I should have a moral values. I should have a ethical values. If I don't have myself moral values, education and also ethical values, in what kind I can become inspiration to you? Here doing all the subjects outside the classroom, in road, smoking and doing some bad activity. So can I become moral to my students? Can I become role model to my students? So teacher is the first role model to every student. Parents is the first role model to every student. So as a teacher, am I role model? So first we should become first as a teacher or a students should feel, yes, I should become like my teacher, I should become my lecturer. Isn't it? They should feel like that. So are we providing in this kind of education? So providing the moral values, providing the ethical values and being a inspiration for the students is very, very important. Next one, educators not salaries enough. So in today's, even though so many young youths are trying or eager to come up to the education sector, so because of lack of good salary, good pay, so they are not ready to come up to even though they are ready, even though mentally they are very happy and they are enthusiastic to come to or take up the education sector jobs, because of salary, demotivation of the salary, they are not coming to the education field. So if the new youths, so energetic youths did not come to the education sector. So ultimately one day all the present lecturers and teachers will go after their retirement. So what we can, if we don't have enough students or enough teachers in this field, enough youths, if new youths did not take up the education sector, did not select the education sector, so who will teach? Ultimately some uninspired teachers and also unqualified will come to the post and they will provide. Again our system will become like this only. Next one, wrong medium of language. See, today so many researchers tell that a child should invest his time, invest in energy learning the concept, not learning in language. So not only English is not the ultimate language. It is just a language, it is not a subject. Our understanding. So even so many students coming from the rural area, Kannada medium or other local language medium, they are also having the same skills, same energy and also same thinking capacity, critical thinking capacity, but they could not get the job because of the language barrier, because of the language barrier. But language is not the barrier for success. If you thought that language is a barrier for success, it is your mistake. What is needed? What is needed to success? Your effort is needed to the success. Your thinking capacity, critical thinking is needed to the success. Even in IAS exam, you can write in Kannada, you can write in your own mother tongue. Even the state exams, you can write in your own mother tongue. Nowhere the government or the any other sector told the language is the barrier for your success. So don't assume that if I am good in English, then only I can achieve that. If I am good in some other language, I can achieve this. So in any language, if you have mastery in one language, you can achieve anything. It may be English or it may be other languages. If you have master in that subject. If you go in Kannada, yes, go with Kannada, but you should become a master in that subject. The hold on the subject should be strong. If you go with English, yes, you can go with English, but do you have that hold in that English? Yes, you can achieve it in any language. So language is not so our children should put the more energy, put more time, put more waste there. So they should use their time and energy in learning the concept, not learning the language. Just learning the language is not useful. Learning concept is very, very useful. We have to understand what Einstein told, what Newton told. So we don't want in which language he told, isn't it? So we need the concept. We need E is equal to mc square. We need, gravitational theory. We don't want who told. We don't want in which language told. We need the concept is very, very important. Then the language, in which language it is told. That's why. So just medium or language is not important. You can achieve without the English also or without other language also. With you, whatever the language you have strong, you go with that language. Go study or get the education in that language only and achieve it. Next one, lack of skill sets. So that's what I told. So many our young youths just concentrating on language and concentrating on other sector, but actual competitive skill, what we needed to get the job, to perform the job. What are the skills we need? We need interpersonal skill. We need intrapersonal skill. Intrapersonal within us. Interpersonal with different people. And how to manage the time, how to manage the risk, how to manage the burden, or understanding. So how to synthesize all the knowledge and also come up with the new ideas, how to put the new ideas, how to make things very easy. That is the skill. So how to make things easy are very, very important. How to get the job done is the management. Isn't it? So in management, how different kinds of new types of management we can implement as a manager or understanding. So if it is an engineer, how to build new machines, new devices. It is very, very important. So lack of skill set also very, very drawback in our education. Next one, lack of proper infrastructure. Okay, look at this picture. In India, so many government schools, government colleges are not having proper buildings, proper library, proper system, proper teachers. Lack of infrastructure. Not only infrastructure means not only physical, it may be ecosystem also. So many education, our parents are not having or not aware enough to providing the education to girl child, isn't it? So infrastructure means it includes everything. It may be the mindset, it may be physical, infrastructure, everything. So that's why we have, even though there are thousands of small colleges, we have lakhs of colleges in the country, but we don't have proper facilities in the college. How many colleges are now having good field for sports, good library, good lab, or understand, good teachers, and also for payment for good teachers. So if you want good teachers, then you have to pay good salary, isn't it? So how many students or how many colleges are having these things? Just they're starting the colleges and they're enrolling the students, but they could not provide the proper education. Is that enough? So because of this, problems, our Indian system is not developing enough. My dear students, in the next session also, we discuss some more problems and also what are just speaking about the problem, just thinking of the problem is not enough. So we have to come up with a solution. What are the solution for this problem? What are the advanced technologies, advanced systems are available to come up with the problems and threats to, we have to convert the problems and threats to future opportunities, and next strength. So how to convert this problem or this convert weakness to strength? So what are the solutions are available? We'll discuss in the next session. So till then, thank you. See you in the next class.